Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the second episode of the PureJoy Podcast. This is a bi-weekly exploration into what brings people joy. Last week, we got to interview our friend Matt, or Toxic Killer 50, as many of you know him by, and found out that something that brought him pure joy was craft beers and things of the like. And we had a great conversation about that. Today, I don't know that I have much more of a lead up beyond that, but thank you for joining today. Today, we have an amazing guest named Adrian Suarez. I'm going to bring up this page here so you can see him. Hello. Let me unmute. And hello, my friend. How's it going?
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Doing very good today. We talked a little bit earlier. I am exhausted. I've been traveling all over the U.S. today. But I'm pumped. I've been looking forward to this all day. You gotta work for sure.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. This is something I've been looking forward to. I even did my own research, made my own essay for this. So
that's incredible.
I'm hyped.
I'm very much looking forward to it. Yeah. So how are you doing today? How are you doing today?
I am doing good. I mean, I woke up kind of tired, but it's just that I'm doing so many physical therapy exercises. But I mean, my recovery is going really well. I'm still exceeding my expectations for recovery, so I'm extremely excited about that.
That's fantastic.
And being able to walk is fun.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I think when I met you early on, you had the injury, but that was about it, right? You weren't really walking much. All of our interaction was sort of over Twitch and Discord because you were kind of stuck in place.
Yeah, it's something that has kind of like affected me for like the past 4 years because I haven't had the opportunity nor the resources to kind of get something like this fixed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I finally had the resources. I had the opportunity at the time, and I finally got my surgery on the 28th of March, and it's been uphill ever since then. I feel like even kind of like the depression that I would deal with is at an all-time low now, just due to the fact that something that has affected me is finally gone.
Yeah,
and I'm working towards strengthening it. So
that's
finally,
huge.
Man.
That's huge bonus. That brings a little bit of joy in its own, just being able to like live your life back to normal.
Man. Of course,
that's incredible, man. I'm very happy for you. I've like I said, we met when you were injured, and it was just sort of, I think, like part of life at that moment. I didn't even necessarily know that you were looking to, that you were still like chasing that surgery down, chasing that like fix to the problem down. And I'm so happy that you were able to finally get that solution and like get your knee back.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, man. It's a blessing, honestly. And like, it's scary just because I was in the dark for so long in terms of like what it actually was. I was led to believe that it was a torn meniscus, and that usually with time, just with physical therapy, it'll heal upon it. Well, it'll eventually, like, you'll have your mobility back, but that was not the case. I ended up being my ACL, and that's when I finally decided, it's like, you know what, I need to get an MRI. I was just like, I need to pay this out of pocket, and I paid around $600 for my MRI.
But you needed to have it done, and you got new information, right? And now you're in PT. Now you're like actually recovering and on the way. And that's great. It might have been a chunk out of the wallet in the meantime, but I think that overall that's like a good chunk spent. Well, I'm very happy that you're on your recovery path and that you're moving around again. The PT is incredible. I'm very excited to keep up on that journey. Yeah. I'm curious though, little side question for the day is, what's something that's brought you joy just today?
Just today.
Yeah.
This is fun. It pertains to the topic today.
Okay.
Yesterday I had finished Kingdom Hearts 3.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem I had with it is that it was extremely easy. Fun fact, I have a rewards channel points reward, so if he redeems it, I have to play with the controller upside down and backwards.
Sure, yeah.
So yeah, And so the game being that extremely easy, and you have literally you have to put no effort. All I did was just press X and triangle the whole time, and for the final boss I beat it. I melted his HP bar by 75% with my controller backwards, like this.
That's easy.
So like I was like, come on, man. Like I thought it was gonna be harder, and so. But at the end of the stream, we hit like secret bosses, and I got my ass dumpstered, like really hard.
That's great.
I literally could not breathe. And I was like, this is amazing. And today in the morning is when I was like, okay, I'm gonna at least beat one boss today, and I beat 5 of them. I was like, thank God. I cannot like live if I have this me talking all that shit. And then me getting completely demolished on stream.
Absolutely
and I was
dumpstered.
like, I have to beat at least one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did. I was like, thank God. And that's something that brought me joy. I was
That's
like, okay,
fantastic.
I got what I wanted today. That gave me all my everything up, my serotonin up, and I was like, okay, I'm happy. I'm ready for the podcast today. If I can beat those bosses, I can do this podcast, no problem.
I would have had to cancel. Oof. Yeah, Jeez. I don't really, since I started streaming, I kind of have stopped a lot of my gaming off stream because I spend so much time of my day like gaming and thinking about games and all that I like have started to spend a little bit more time just like focusing on home and stuff. But recently I've been really into Bloodborne. My roommate has a PS4 and I've been playing on there, so I've been like, replaying through Bloodborne, and it was fun going into it thinking that like, I've just demolished, I beat Melania, I beat the Elden Beast, like Elden Ring is significantly harder than this game could ever be, right? And like the first boss was just like rubbing me on the bridge and like kicking me and like making me frustrated, and it felt good to be I guess back at the beginning of a Dark Souls game again. Like it felt good to like, all right, I'm not just going to run through this game. It's still the game I love. It's still hard. It's still these things. But when I beat the bosses off stream, I'm like, fuck yeah, finally, I am the player I think I am.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
It's a nice feeling. It's a nice feeling, man.
It sure is. Yeah. I'm definitely happy to hear that. So then that sounds like it kind of piggybacks off of what brings you pure joy just in life overall.
Yeah, definitely. Like how I kind of stated, what brings me the most amount of joy and kind of helps me just kind of do the day-to-day is definitely video games and other media. I just feel like it's something that has been kind of a staple in my life, because sometimes as a kid it's very difficult to kind of go out and make friends, and like I always had that difficult time. And so always having something to look forward to and something to bring joy after, especially if you have like a rough day, coming back and just kind of playing. And if you have a boss that you've been kind of trying your best to kind of beat and you finally beat it that day, it gives that sense of like fulfillment and like acknowledgement also, because sometimes like you kind of crave that acknowledgement and parents won't give you that, but games do. So like it just kind of it brings me so much joy. And also, they helped me through the toughest parts of my life. It's funny, like it's funny to think that something that it's not like a real life thing, it's like a virtual thing that you're playing, can bring so much joy and mean so much to one person. And that's what video games have been for me. I didn't have the opportunity to get so many like knickknacks and things as a child because it was kind of rough with my dad being the only one that would work. And now that when I had my job, I was able to buy all my stuff, and so I just have like a ton of knickknacks here. I have my Master Sword with like a pedestal. I have a poster and stuff like that. I have so many things, and I like, even though I moved in here not too long ago, I have my corner filled with like figures, Spiderman figures that I bought. I love it. Everything, like it means so much to me, and kind of like having the opportunity to appreciate them more. Like as an adult, I feel like it filled the hole that I didn't have as a child even more now, That's amazing.
I when I was a child, I collected like I collected dragons and swords when I was like up until high school, and very happy to stop collecting those things when I entered college. But then I didn't really have any like collections. Like I didn't really have anything that I really looked forward to going out and buying, or you know, like the next whatever, the next version of it, and going to like check that out. So I don't know, about a year ago when I started like collecting Pokemon cards, it like brought that joy back. Just the like the joy of like getting something that you're pumped about, and like having this little collectible. And I definitely get that vibe. Video games have throughout life, I mean, it's always been a good escape, right? Like in you know, at the most stressful of times in college, when I was, you know, going from 6 a.m. to 4 a.m. every day, just getting a couple hours of sleep, like the hours I had in between classes weren't spent on taking a nap. They were spent on spending that hour playing a little bit of Dark Souls, or a little bit of Skyrim, or a little bit of this, just to like break my thoughts for the moment, to get me out of place, to get me out of where I was. Video games have always been incredible in helping, like, just, I don't know, improve my state of mind, right?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree, because even the music, I feel like it also kind of triggers something, especially if you have a game that you played as a child and you kind of hear that song again, like as an adult. It clicks and it opens something in your mind. It just feels amazing. And I feel like that for me is great. I have so many like video game music, like video game soundtracks on my phone, because they mean so much to me, like the Kingdom Hearts OST, Persona 5. Well, a lot of the Persona music, because Persona just has amazing music.
It's a bop there.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, dude. Oh my god. I use that music to study. I generally use that music to study because it's so calming, and I can honestly focus so much more on my homework.
Yeah,
it's a godsend. It is a godsend.
Yeah, I mean, it does go beyond just like sitting down and playing a game too. Like even just beyond like listening to the music in that games, right? Like I mean, you know, I feel like everybody is aware that like music has a power to it, right? Like if we're just to sit down in the dark days and listen to some tunes, whether they're happy or sad, they'll like affect your mood. I have my Spotify is filled with small playlists of like, this is for a very specific sad time, and this is for a rainy day, and this is for the lonely specific times, you know, like the music that I use, it like flows for very specific emotions. And video games have always done a really, really good job about finding the right tone to set with that tune. Yeah. Right? Because it's not like we can just click skip. It's not like we can just change a song. They have to nail it. They got to get it right away, and loop me in and keep me in, and like, you know, that like inspire me through that music and have me turn off my own music even, is one of my favorite things when I'm playing a video game. I'm like, I have to turn off my own music to listen to this awesome boss battle music, because there's no way I'm beating this boss without this music. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it feels so fulfilling. It's perfect. You couldn't have put it any way better. Honestly, they always nail it every single time. And the music pumps you up immensely. I cannot like think of a single a boss theme nor final boss theme that has not actually hyped me up and made me, it's like, I'm about to cook this guy, dude. I swear to God, I'm about to do it. And especially when you're losing and you're like on your 10th attempt, every time it doesn't get old, and you're hyped. And that's what I love, that they're always able to nail it. Even their ambiance music, like the perfect example for me is just Persona. They have perfect ambiance music, just for like the overworld. Like if you're in the Café LeBlanc, when you're in Shibuya, when you're in the various cities that you get to explore, they always have the perfect music to kind of like show that you're in a different area. But it's always so entertaining, and you're like, sometimes I would just stay in the cafe just to listen to the Beneath the Mask. It's amazing. Honestly, and it has a very special place in my heart.
Yeah,
just to listen to that music there.
I got the opportunity to watch a playthrough of Persona 5. One of my roommates was playing. That was like my entrance to the Persona theme. And I think that like I was more fascinated by the music, right? Because I wasn't necessarily watching. I wasn't like being a part of their playthrough. I was just existing nearby, but like I was always drawn in by these very powerful switches in music that Persona does. I got the opportunity to play through 4, and 4 is very, very much the same way, right? Like Persona does a really good job of creating this world and allowing you to live in it in a way that is like, I would say not a lot like nail their full like environmental tones as well as Persona does. Yeah. Because you feel like, well, no, if I was walking around Shibuya, sure, that's not a song that would be playing, but I get a vibe that I'm in a different place, and it kind of reminds me of like what I think this place should be like, whether that's slightly country or adjacent to the city or rolling hills vibe. Like Persona's really good about like giving you that emotion through the swelling music. It's really strong.
Yep.
I agree. What is your favorite game? Like, I don't know, like, has it, and whatever it is, has it been your favorite game forever, or is it a recent favorite, or?
Oh my God. Okay. Well, you probably know one of my favorites is Golden Sun. No shot. That's up there, top 5.
Golden Sun.
That is the first RPG.
Oh, duh. I was like GoldenEye, like the 007 GoldenEye game. No, Golden Sun. Sure.
Golden Sun. Yeah, Golden Sun. That's where I met you, man. That's where this friendship started, just because of amazing, beautiful game.
Incredible game.
I love that game so much. It was my intro RPG. I saw my cousin playing it on his Game Boy, and I asked like, oh, but what's this? It's like, it's Golden Sun. Have you never played it? It's like, no, I never tried it. He told me you should try it out sometime. I never really had the opportunity because I asked my dad for like Golden Sun. Like I asked for it like as a kid. He's like, I'm not buying you no game. Until I finally decided to emulate it on my phone, and it was an amazing experience. And I got to play The Lost Age and Dark Dawn. It's amazing. But I would say, like, tied for first, it would either have to be Final Fantasy VII Remake or Kingdom Hearts 2. I don't know which one to choose. I keep going back and forth. I think maybe Kingdom Hearts 2 barely takes the spot. It's just such an I played that game at like one of the most important parts of my life, and the music, the story, everything was perfect. I played it on stream. I did everything in my power not to finish that game quickly. I extended the last world by like 6 streams. I did not want to finish it. And even when I did, perfect ending for me. It just felt so fulfilling because they kind of do a switch up. You think you beat the final boss, and then everybody's leaving, and then you just have a second phase, and it's way longer than the first, and it just felt so emotional because essentially you're just fighting with your best friend Riku against the final boss, and it just they perfectly have you use both Sora and Riku at the end. And it's just amazing. The final song, perfect touch because it's a different iteration of the opening song. Oh my God, I was in tears, man. I was in literal tears. And the same thing was with Remake, but I just feel like Kingdom Hearts 2, it just barely takes the spot because I just felt so emotional throughout the whole game.
Yeah,
I did not want to let it go.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I feel like, what's my big emotional game? I don't know that I like get super attached to too many games. One of the games that's really able to bring it for me is the first Dark Souls game, right? It's such a build and a swell. That was my entrance to like Soulsborne series is Dark Souls 1. I didn't check out Demon Souls. I still have never played Demon Souls, but I've played religiously all of the other ones, and it's It's a good game because for me, I like a challenge. That's why I've always played like very challenging games, and I like a challenge. That's why it sticks with me. It's like such an arc. You have to learn how to block. You have to learn how to dodge. You have to learn how to do it just right now, and then you have to learn how to parry and do like all these tiny little mechanics. But then you start to do them, and bosses get hard, and you're like, okay, here's what I can do. You beat this boss, you do this thing, and you get to the last boss, and the entrance to the last boss is sick. Down this big ashy staircase, and then you're in this area, and the boss you're fighting, if you've at all played with the mechanics in the game, you're able to embarrass this boss. But the music is incredible. Yeah. The fight, even though you're like way better than the last boss, it's just like those last boss themes and like the build in games like that like prepares you for that last boss is always so like just incredible. You feel like you're finally putting all the pieces together. All the threads have been pulled at. There's nothing I can do besides go in this door and beat this dude. And I love that. Yeah. I love that. It doesn't bring the same sort of like, I've never like, I don't think I feel like any lost emotions or sad emotions, but it feels like the perfect bow on a story, and I get a little nostalgic even when I'm in the middle of the fight. I'm like, oh man, I want to play this game all over again just for this moment.
Yeah, that's it. That's literally exactly how I felt playing Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, the boss was definitely hard. I did not beat it on my first try. I did die on my first try, I was able to beat it on the second, but what was perfect for me about that is just everything you learned, because you don't have to, but there are different organization members that you can fight on the way there, and everyone has a gimmick, and there's a way that you can beat them. It's very precise. A lot of them are very precise, and the one that haunted my dreams more than any boss, even more than the final boss, was Marluxia. He gives you a hit counter, so you could get hit only a certain amount of times, but if that amount goes to 0, you die, even if you're at full health. And I was there because I was extremely stubborn and did not want to level up to beat him. I was completely underleveled. I was there for it was a stream upon itself. I was there for 4 hours trying to beat this guy. And I was completely stubborn. I was like, look, I guess we're going to have to do this tomorrow. And I just felt like, man, I know I can beat this dude. I got it extremely close multiple times. And I did beat him off stream. And oh my God, did I feel fulfillment. That man haunted my dreams. Like, I haven't beaten him yet because he's back again in Kingdom Hearts 3. I almost beat him first try. But like, he brought the hit counter back, and that had me nervous, and I was like, he's just one hit away. But that's his gimmick, and I was like, I kept trying to hit him and I couldn't. This man is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. But I loved it. I loved that challenge, and I didn't feel like that before. I hated feeling like, man, I can't do this, I'm not good enough. But Kingdom Hearts made me not be like that anymore. It made me, it's like, man, I want this to be hard. I want this to like make me like, oh my God. But I kept coming back because I loved it. I never felt upset. I was like, man, I'm frustrated, but I'm having such an amazing time getting my ass beat. Like, those 4 hours that I was on stream, getting my ass handed to over and over and over again, were the funnest like times ever for me. I was having an amazing time. And I felt like that throughout the whole time playing Kingdom Hearts 2, getting my ass handed to because I'm under leveled, and finally not being stubborn and leveling up and going back and beating Larxene and beating Marluxia and beating the final boss is just, it's amazing. And I love that challenge, and I never felt like that way before. And I think that's why Kingdom Hearts 2 is so important to me also, because it made me think, it's like, okay, I'll be able to do this. And I feel like it also translated to my own life, that I feel like if I can beat this disgusting boss that is completely busted and has pretty much the refresh rate to fucking hit you back is literally like immeasurable, and they can hit you immediately, I can do anything.
It translates into like breaking down a situation just in real life, right? Like, you're faced with a new challenge this is the gimmick I am faced with. What can I do to beat this boss or beat this situation in the moment? You know, it never really feels like that in the moment, but like looking back on it is always like, yeah, I mean, I was challenged in that moment. I could have just rested at the bonfire and chilled for the day, but instead I went back out. I took one more try at the boss, took 10 more tries at the boss, and I took care of it. And now it's done and I can rest easy. And like, you always know that feeling too, because when you reach one of those bosses where you're just like not ready for, like your character isn't ready, even if you get close, you're like, nah, that's not for me yet. My dude obviously is not built for this moment. Not yet, but I'll be back. It's like, it's always, it just is like a good thing. I don't know, in those games too, to just put a little note down, be like, all right, boss B killed me 10 times. I'll be back for you. Like, give me 10 levels and I'll come back and wipe the floor with you because that's what I want. Is always good. So like, I love that games give you a challenge to rise to, and it kind of frequently translates into how you live your life too.
Yeah, because honestly, I feel like I started actually kind of like, you know what? I will be able to do this, because I used to be very nervous at work, especially working with cars. It's very nerve-wracking because you can mess anything up like at any given moment.
Yeah, sure. It's expensive.
And I feel like that gave me so much more confidence at my job. And I feel like, dude, if I could deal with this, I could deal with the car. Like, and I did. And I was, ever since then, I feel like I literally was succeeding a lot more at my job, because I would literally not be able to, I would be nervous to work on one. I'm like, I'm going to mess it up. I'm going to fail. And that's what I was like, it's fine. Like, I'm not going to fail. If I could deal with that, I'll deal with this. Or if for some reason I'm like, you know what, I need a little bit of help, I'll ask for help. And I did. And ever since then, like I was able to like, dude, I can do this easy. And especially when there's like a new challenge of a car, it's like, oh, you need to do this different. And I'm like, okay, I'm perfectly prepared for this. I have my skill sets. Like a character, you gain new skill sets, you gain new skills with experience. And that's essentially what I gained as a mechanic. I'm literally looking at as a job as a mechanic like an RPG. Like with every car, I'm getting experience.
Your mechanic skill tree is being filled out.
Yeah, essentially. And and when I get new cars that I was like, oh, this is the first time I'm dealing with this. I was like, this is similar to what I did with this car. And I was able to fulfill my task. And it's like, I'm done. I was like, you're done? It's like, yeah, I just did it like this because it was like this car, and I literally drew back to everything I worked on, and I fulfilled the task. And I was like, yo, it's not that bad.
It fosters a sense of like assuredness in living my own life, and like it doesn't, I don't think that it comes off that way. Like when I'm playing Dark Souls, I'm never thinking like, oh, now I can go out and crush this situation. But next time I'm in that situation, I'm like, this is a really hard situation. You know, I may not connect that to Dark Souls, but I will know that I can do it, and I'll just keep going and finish the situation. And then maybe later I'll be like, oh yeah, that was just as hard as whoever.
Yeah, of course. There's so much to gain, and I feel like there's even more untapped things that we might not recognize that video games help us with, because honestly, they helped me through the roughest times of my life, and I owe so much to them. And it's silly to think, but that's really how it was for me. Like, especially ever since like I injured my knee, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go outside or play soccer because if I take one bad step, my knee kind of locks, and then I'm in excruciating pain. It's like, the best way I can explain it is like the worst kind of cramp is what I feel every time my knee would dislocate. It's just like, it's horrible, and the only way to kind of relieve it is to straighten it out as best as you can, and it would kind of like jolt into place, and it just feel horrible, and it would happen very often. And so I was like, I have no kind of way of entertainment, because what helped me a lot was to play soccer, just kind of relax, just kind of run and do stuff and be active. But I lost that opportunity since I hurt myself, and so games have kind of been able to fill that void a lot. And so, especially like even with like my first breakup, Final Fantasy VII Remake is what helped me get through that. I would play that game so much I would forget to blink. that's how much I was playing that game.
I think
that was the first time I've ever done that.
I think I've done that. I think I did that with like Okami back in the day on the Wii. I would like stay up all night playing it and like trying to circle shit on my computer with the Wii stick and do whatever that they needed me to do. And I realized that like so bad. It was so bad for my eyes. There's so many reasons that I wear glasses, and I would like to not blame video games, but I think that they're a good portion of why I wear glasses.
Yeah. I thankfully I like my parents did kind of limit my time, but like on my days off, that's what I would do. Like it's just that's what I did before I actually started streaming a lot more often, because I would stream from time to time back then. But yeah, the remake just helped so much, dude. Like I purposely did all my chores because my mom's like, well, you're working, but you still need to do a ton of chores on your day off, and that's what I would do. Wake up extremely early just to kind of get the chores of the house done, leave the house spotless just so I can be in my room for hours on end playing the remake. And that's exactly what I did. And man, it meant so much. I was like, oh my God, I need to blink. And I would blink and it just tears, man, because my eyes were so dry. But it was great. The soundtrack was amazing. That's when I started falling in love with the action RPGs, because I was very turn-based. I religiously played turn-based RPGs. And the remake was a very perfect mix. You're able to have like bullet time, and so like you're able to stop time and then pick what you want your character to use next, and it was great. And that's when I was like, you know what, I think I want to. That's what also kind of led me to play Kingdom Hearts. Because like, yo, they have Final Fantasy characters in this game, specifically Cloud Strife. Like he comes out in this game.
I like Cloud. Yeah.
I like Cloud. That's literally what it's like. And I fell in love with Kingdom Hearts, even though I still don't understand the story. I don't know what it's taking. It's so convoluted. I played every single one, and you have to play every single one. And oh my God,
I've played the first one. That's the end of my Kingdom Hearts like experience. But I definitely Kingdom Hearts is on my list.
It's crazy
for replays, and I'm still playing through the Final Fantasies. I played Final Fantasy VII like before the remake back in the day when it was like 4 discs long or whatever. And I'm replaying through all of the remakes, because they like when they dropped the 7 remake, they dropped 1 through 6 remake at the same time, or remaster anyway. And I've played through a few of those. I really like them for like old video game history. It gives you a lot of like understanding about how video games evolve from this step in video game history, because like early Final Fantasy games were huge in like shaping what video games became, right? Like I would say that like early Final Fantasy might even be where like Pokemon came from, like the turn-based Pokemon style situation. Not directly, but I think that there were definitely some influences there.
Most definitely.
What was your first game? What was like the first game either that you played or that you owned? Like you were like, this is my game and I will like...
Like the first game I've ever played, Spiderman on the PS1.
Heck yeah.
And I got a rep. Spider-Man. Oh my God.
Has the shirt on.
I saw that Toby. Yeah, dude. Toby. I watched that. I think I'm fairly certain the first movie I remember watching is the first Spider-Man movie with Toby Maguire.
Oh, the first movie you remember watching in stop.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. And ever since then, I was in love with Spider-Man, man. Toby's the GOAT. And
is he your favorite Spider-Man?
What's up?
Is he your favorite Spider-Man?
100%. Yeah.
Oh my God.
No doubt in my mind, man. He was cooking.
No one's favorite Spider-Man is Toby Maguire. That's so funny,
brother. Everybody loves. I mean, I that's my guy.
That's funny.
That's my guy. And yeah, like I just fell in love with Spider-Man there. It felt so fulfilling, and when I feel like also that's another movie franchise that I go back to when I'm feeling down. Like I watch the original Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire. It's great. It means so much to me. When I heard the rumors about him coming back in Spider-Man No Way Home, I did everything in my power to get tickets, and I eventually just rented out a whole movie theater, and that's how I got my tickets to watch Spider-Man on opening day.
What? You rented out a movie theater?
a room. A room.
Oh, sure, but you rented out the whole space?
The whole room.
That's incredible, dude.
Yeah, it was surprisingly cheap. I thought it was gonna be more expensive. It was ended up being $200.
Okay.
But I invited so many of my friends to go.
Yeah,
so it was worth it.
Right, it's not one movie ticket. It's not $200 per head. It's just $200 for the room. So
yeah,
that's not bad.
Yeah, it's just $200 for the room, and I thought, man, I'd pay more just to have that opportunity, man. And he came out, and so I've needed to see Toby back for so long. I just needed to see Toby one last time as Spider-Man, and that was fulfilled. And it is such a key memory for me. It is a core memory, and it's very recent, and it's going to be so important. My background of the computer that I'm using right now is of them three landing on the Statue of Liberty. My phone, my screen, my wallpaper for my phone is Toby Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
That's so funny.
Like, dude, no, I love them. I love them so much, dude. Like, Spider-Man means so much to me, and it will continue to be so. And like, my mom's like, you still like Spider-Man? I'm like, yeah. He just means so much to me, and it always will be. I love the Spider-Man PS4. I love every iteration of Spider-Man, the 90s Spider-Man, everything. It's so important to me with video games. I literally, my whole body went numb when I saw Toby pop up on screen, man. I was in tears, crying. My whole body went numb, and I'm like, I really cannot feel anything.
This is why I rented out the whole room to myself.
Yeah, it was worth. Dude, I'd drop racks just to see that, and I was so glad. But I knew, especially with all the rumors, and it was pretty much confirmed. But I was like, you never know. And I was like, I have to like be okay if he doesn't come out. And even though I was like, dude, there's no way, and still seeing him come out was so important for me. And I'm so glad they didn't kill him off in the movie. Oh my God, he didn't die. So I was just like, okay, there's still a chance we can see him again. But it meant so much to me to see him there. Andrew getting back, fucking cooking, man. Andrew was amazing in the movie. Finally, people can see that he's also a great Spider-Man, man. I loved his movies too. The second one was okay. It's pretty. People didn't like the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I still loved it because it is a Spider-Man movie, and it's still important to me. Tom getting even better into the mantle and becoming more of an image of Spider-Man as well. Because for me, it's Toby, Andrew, and then Tom. But Tom is doing a great job. It's just I love the original too, and Tom is getting there, dude. He did such an amazing job in the last movie, man.
Tom, and for me,
No Way Home is great.
Hit it out of the park. Like the moment I saw Tom, it felt like what I always wanted from Spider-Man. Like I felt like he was more living in this role that he was handed, whereas I think of the Toby movies, like Toby Maguire himself was the best part of that movie. To me, I think the negatives and why like I don't go back to it often is the writing. Like it's not like they took your typical comic book story and threw it right up on the screen like they do nowadays. Kind of. But I felt like the writing almost ended up being a little bit more like soapy, like soap opera-y. And then we had Toby Maguire, who like he's a little goofy, but like I thought he was a good Spider-Man. I think I like maybe it's that he's extra goofy, but that's what I love so much about like the new Spider-Man is that he brings an extra goof to it of like things that you don't quite see often.
Yeah, because that is literally Spider-Man's personality. He's one to crack jokes and be goofy. Like that's literally his personality, and I love it. Tom is doing an amazing job. Yeah, I love that Tom is because you can actually see him as like a teenager. Because I mean, when he came out in Civil War, he was, and he had auditioned for the part, and like I was like, dude, this is gonna be a Spider-Man. I remember where I was when I heard the announcement for the Civil War commercial. I was riding on the bus, looked at my phone, and it's like, oh, there's a new Captain America Civil War trailer. Let me check this out. Dude, I Dude, embarrassing to say, I kind of like shrieked inside the bus, and everybody just kind of looked at me, but I just couldn't contain it. I was just so happy to see Spider-Man, and in the MCU no less. Like it was amazing, and like, dude, it seems like, dude, he's still a teenager. He's gonna be a Spider-Man for a long time, and he's Spider-Man for many movies. He was Spider-Man in Civil War, Homecoming, Infinity War, Endgame, Far From Home, and then No Way Home. Dude, like, it's so many Spider-Man movies there.
Somehow he's doing that on top of being Drake. Like, how does he do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
How does Tom do it?
Nathan Drake, Cherry, and then he's there was another movie that he starred in. I forget. It was like a military movie. That might have been Cherry. There's another one though. He was in another one that was, I think, also like military.
Yeah, Tom.
But yeah,
Tom's been all over the place lately. I think like his I think a lot of people's rise into the MCU recently has like spurned a lot of new actors into new movies because they're like, MCU gives weird people a chance to like be incredible, you know, and then usually they do, and then everyone's like, oh yeah, Tom Hiddleston is incredible, or you know, this person is incredible, or whatever. That doesn't always work out in the case of like Chris Pratt, but you know, not everyone can be a winner. I think my first game I would say was probably Duck Hunt on the Super Nintendo. Like, we had the clicky guns and everything over at my brother's house, and we would hunt ducks. But I think like my personal first game, I think, might have been like Paper Mario, OG Nintendo 64 Paper Mario, and like along with like Pokemon on the Game Boy. But I can't ever remember when I started playing Pokemon. It's just, I was born with Pokemon. The moment Red came out, it was like in my hands, and since then I've been playing it.
Yeah, my first Pokemon game was a gift. Like, from one of my classmates. He's like, have you ever played Pokemon? It's like, no, I never had the chance. He's like, here. He just gave me Pokemon Emerald.
Oh, that was your first one. Pokemon Emerald's a great one to start on too.
Yeah, I was like, dude. And man, I love that game so much, but unfortunately the cartridge was like messed up. And so like when I was done with like the game, and I would turn it on sometimes, and it'd just be like, oh, your data's just completely wiped. You got to start over again. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I just do that multiple times. Like, and I loved it. I that game was incredible. I was like, yo, this is when I fell in love with Pokemon. Emerald was just so great. I loved it. Great experience, and that's where the love began. Did stop a little bit, like after X and Y. I kind of stopped playing Pokemon as much, and then picked it back up after Let's Go.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, this is how I remember. But yeah. Favorite? Probably Pokemon Black and White. That's like my favorite.
I've been reading a lot recently that is like the general consensus, like if you were to take an average vote of cross Pokemon fans all over the world, that Black and White is the highest voted game. Which is,
it's amazing.
Interesting. I enjoyed Black and White, but I don't know that I ever consumed them in the way of like thinking about this being the best Pokemon game. You know what I mean? In my mind, when I was playing, I had already thought like, the best Pokemon games have passed. Now we're in those generations. And so I never really looked at it like, this is a great game. I know I had fun with it. Like I had a great time in it, and I liked the story a lot. Like I like N and what that character brings into this story. But just I don't think I've explored that one nearly as much. I had played through like all of them on release up until I grabbed Diamond on release day, and then I didn't beat it. I don't like Diamond and Pearl. No matter what anyone else out there says, I don't like it.
Man, my favorite part of Diamond and Pearl was Gallade coming out, man.
Gallade's incredible. Gallade is a great addition.
Dude, oh my god. That's when I fell in love with Gallade. Well, I fell in love with Gallade during X and Y. Because, I mean, that's when I was at, like, I first got my first Gallade. And I was like, yo, this dude has swagger, man. Oh my god. And ever since then, I was in love with Gallade. I feel like we're, like, hitting a Pokemon renaissance right now.
Definitely.
Honestly. Because, dude, when they try to experiment with things, like a few generations before, I was like, I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know if this is, like, such a, like, cool gimmick that they're trying, and now like they're like, okay, we should probably take feedback. I feel like they're like, it'll probably be beneficial if we take some feedback, and they're doing it. And I feel like everything is just like, oh, okay, this worked. Because I feel like Legends Arceus was kind of like a game of feedback. It's like, what if we are able to do this, or do this, or do this? And they kind of executed it perfectly. I loved it. It was such a nice, like, to be able to go out, walk around, choose the Pokemon that I want to catch, actually. I was like, oh, I already caught this one. I don't want to deal with this Pokemon right now.
Right. It's not about these wild battles. It's about hunting the Pokemon that I want. I felt like an actual Pokemon trainer. Like I was out there hiding in a set of grass waiting for X to spawn. Is it shiny? Is it not? What am I after? Like it's such a blast, like being able to actually experience what the closest what we could come to like playing being Pokemon trainer. Was a very good situation. I feel like in recent years they've been more pandering towards their like adult audience that's grown up with them, right? Like they'll give us Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and I feel like those games are to hit that young audience again. Everything is round. It doesn't wait a lot. It's not like this person isn't gonna die. It's a basic storyline. It is what it is. But like you give us Arceus that has some depth to the story, some like adult moments, and then I feel like from what I've seen of Scarlet and Violet that it's a little closer to like young adult teen kind of vibes and less like the 9-year-old Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl vibes or whatever. But like it's great. I love it when these companies, any media company really takes their populace's like opinion, right? We saw it huge with Sonic when Sonic was dropping and it was awful. Everyone hated it. Everyone was fucking relieved when they were like, we're not doing this anymore. No one on the team was like upset. There's no way. Let's get in, let's do it better. Let's get out what the people want, because why wouldn't you? We're the ones gonna consume it. Yeah.
Man, dude, Sonic, it's still my favorite. I still 100% prefer Sonic over Mario, but like, man, there's been just such a huge drop off in quality of Sonic games. And like, I just hope, I hope Sonic hits a renaissance again,
man. The games? Yeah, I mean, Sonic 2 Battle was like the last banger of a Sonic game, and that was GameCube days.
Yeah.
That was GameCube days. So Sonic needs something. I feel like now that they're on the second movie, they gotta give us something, right? Give us like a Spider-Man style Sonic game where we get to run around the city and be Sonic in an actual place where it gives us weight for his speed. Because him being super fast and in all these like loops and shit means nothing, because that is the way that level is supposed to go. But you throw Sonic on New York City streets. And like now I get to see Sonic like outrun this cab or do whatever. Like it gives it weight.
Because I feel like a good formula, if they would kind of like adapt it, is like if they would like adapt a bit of the Sonic X like storyline into one of those games, I feel like it would perform tremendously. Because I feel like they can make so many levels off of just so many different episodes they had on that TV show. It's like, dude, Sonic running around the city against chaos, or like going into space, go to like different planets from time to time. Like, dude, I was like, yo, you can make a whole like stage, like a whole zone from this planet. I feel like that would work out very well, and the story is like, I mean, it's already there. It's like just adapt it into game.
Yeah. I mean, you made the connection earlier. Like, video games came to the rescue at a very, very hard time, right? When you couldn't use soccer and you couldn't get out and go do those things. And that's why I started streaming as well. Like, after I had broken my ankle and was finally able to like work through the drugs and like be awake and mentally, and like I beat like 10 video games in the course of a week, and they were ranging from like Dark Souls to I played through Skyrim, I played through, all these horror games. And I was like, I mean, if I straight up had beaten, I think it was like number 7, and I was like, I've beaten 7 games in the past, I don't know, week or two, and why? Like, I'm just sitting here on my couch doing this. Why couldn't I just do this behind a camera and maybe make, my thought at the time was maybe make a little money, but that is not like my thought anymore. Now I just really enjoy doing this and sharing this community and like being able to create these moments where we like just actually get to sit down and converse and talk. I think that,
I mean, it definitely, streaming definitely is like just helped me, because I would not want to like speak, and I feel like I feel a little bit more outgoing, because like if I could talk in front of a camera in front of other people and just talk about stuff, like I can do some stuff and like go out and talk to a person, because I would be extremely nerve-wracking for me. But now I was like, man, because I was still kind of nervous for today for the podcast. Like, I'm prepared, but I still feel nervous. But I was like, man, I talk in front of a camera almost every day. This is gonna be fine.
It's always it's always a little nerve-wracking for me as well, just because it's like, for a game, I know that there's gonna be content, right? Like, if I'm ever nervous, I'm like, I may not be able to perform today. I generally know that my game can perform for me. Like, people like this game, they like a story, they'll come join the story even if I'm a little tired. But this is always a little nerve-wracking because it isn't that. It's like, it has to be driven by us, and that is like, can be a little nerve-wracking, but I think that I found a lot of actual joy in being able to do this, and it changes how I approach this little moment of being behind the camera and being on my OBS screen that I'm always on and always looking at all these things. But like, it has changed in this moment. It changes like the way that I'm looking at this, and I don't think I ever look at the camera this much, especially when I'm like live. I probably don't ever look at my camera lens itself when I'm live, but during the podcast, I find myself like actually talking to the camera, because I don't know, we're like having a conversation. It feels a little bit easier to like be present.
It definitely have looked at the camera a lot more today, like like throughout the whole stream, because I mean, I have like the camera on another side and then the monitor on another, so I'm just like, I try to go back and forth, especially when like I'm answering a question. Of, like, if there's like a question on the chat, I look directly at the camera just to kind of have like that intimate like moment of like me and the viewer
addressing. Yeah, absolutely. I would say that for me in recent years, it's been video games. Like the past 3 years, I've probably fallen almost wholly into video games. But like right before that, it was like wholly music. I probably never played video games for like 3 years, and just listened to music all the time. And you know, I used it for what I use video games for now. And I listen to less music because I'm playing so many more video games, and I like to focus on this world that they build for me. After, 100 hours in a game, I'll finally turn off the music and throw on, some hip hop or whatever in the background, because it's good. It's good. It brought me in. It carried me through this story, but also like, I've listened to it now for about 100 hours. I can switch it up every now and then. So what is in the upcoming future? Are you like looking forward to any specific media that you're like, you think is going to be a banger for sure? Be it a movie, an album coming out, a new game?
Ooh, one of my wish lists for like the past 10 years for a game to come out is going to come out this coming week, Mario Strikers.
Oh, finally, dang, the new Mario Strikers drops.
Yeah, dude, I have been praying. Dude, we've talked about this like on stream, on Twitter, and we're going to talk about this now. We need Golden Sun.
We need a Golden Sun Switch.
Dude, at least a port, just so I have like at least
That's true. Even just OG Golden Sun on the Switch would be good.
Dude. Yeah, I am in the biggest despair for that. Another game that I would like for them to port is Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
Chrono Trigger is amazing. Amazing game. One of the few games that I feel like hits time travel perfectly.
Okay. That's a hard thing to do.
It has a very interesting, it's the creator of Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and the creator of Dragon Ball all worked on the game.
Wow.
And they made a banger. Yeah.
That's intense.
Toriyama and then the two creators. Yeah, dude.
I've like heard of Chrono Trigger, but never gotten the opportunity to play it, so I might seek it out.
It is amazing. One of the games, I think one of the early games that have you have multiple endings, and every decision that you make can affect the end of the game.
I do love that.
It is great. Oh my god, they did such an amazing job. The music, the worlds that you visit, because you have the same world and multiple worlds, and you can visit that same world in 3 different time periods, man. It's great. Oh my god, it's amazing. Yeah. It is great. Oh my god, I put so many hours into the game, man.
Yeah, that is intriguing.
At least 80 hours just to finish one playthrough. 80 hours, man.
Mm-hmm.
I had Persona. I had Persona hours to finish that game.
Damn.
It's great. Yeah, it is amazing. I wholeheartedly recommend it. But yeah, Golden Sun, I'm really excited. I really want the remake part 2 to be announced, man, because that's something I've been really like hyped for. Kingdom Hearts 4 got announced, so that's extremely hyped. Now I'm finally caught up and know at least 10% of what's going on.
I've played what's going on. Whether I understand it or not is a different story.
Dude, I kind of get what's going on, but oh my god, dude. It is just so convoluted and so much they're connecting so much things that I don't even know what's connecting anymore. And
you gotta like have the web up on your wall, running the yarn in between all the little bits to get it. Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, I'm extremely excited for that. There's another Across the Spider-Verse, the Spider-Man the Spider-Man movie, the animated one. I'm extremely excited about that. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, just essentially, I was looking forward to Mario Strikers. Yeah, for a while now.
PS5 game that's Oh, yeah, I was like screaming, dude. Like when I heard that announcement. Hogwarts looks very interesting.
It does look interesting.
Hogwarts
looks pretty good.
Yeah, Hogwarts looks very interesting. And then Final Fantasy 16 finally got announced after 2 years. After the original announcement.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't really need another online Final Fantasy, you know?
Yeah.
I don't.
This is just story-wise.
Is it? Okay.
I believe.
Yeah. I would like that. I got the fact that they've released 2 online Final Fantasies now in the series is like, I shrug and shake my head. That is absurd. The fact that I bought what Final Fantasy, was it 11? Is that the one that the first like online one? I bought that shit. No, it wasn't XI.
That's the one that people hate the most.
Yeah, whichever one was the first online one was garbage.
Yeah.
And they did it better with 14. Yeah. It's better, but like I'm not after an MMO. I've played them.
Yeah.
It's great, it's fun. I definitely get the pull, but it's not my pull, and it's certainly not what I'm after. And because I love the turn-based Final Fantasies so much, it like hurts even more to know that it's just Skyrim, or it's just, I'm gonna go out and play WoW. I could just go play WoW. Yeah. Very weird. Yeah, I think
I agree.
My biggest looking forward to is currently Pokemon Violet, and I was gonna go for Scarlet, but now I'm gonna go Violet.
God, we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we were just talking about that. Yeah, it's Pokemon. Oh, and
it feels like a return to
boy Link.
The boy Link with the glowing Master Sword.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, dude. Breath of the Wild 2, like
Breath of the Wild 2, yeah.
Oh my god.
I feel like
I'm so like
I feel like this Pokemon is finally a return to form from what we've seen in the trailers. I mean, I don't want to give it too much.
I agree.
Too much, words of kindness yet, because we still have only received 2 trailers and that's nothing. But it so far seems like a banger, and I'm very excited to explore a new region, find new Pokemon, and have them all be official, because I've played all the fan makes now and I'm ready for an official release. And so like game wise, I'm like pumped for that, and then. In another half a decade, we'll finally get the next Skyrim, and I'm still excited, but not holding my breath or anything. Movies, I don't think that there's too much coming out. I don't really keep up with on like movies and TV too much. We watch like old TV.
Yeah.
But as far as like music, there's about to be like just like a whole new list of bangers dropping. Panic at the Disco's new album comes out. Chance the Rapper's new album comes out. Glass Animals is working on a new one. Like all of these just like heavy hitting, long standing groups and artists are coming out with like new music, and I'm just so pumped. The next like month, the next like 30 days is going to be like a huge banger in music.
Yeah,
I love it. I love listening to new music as it comes out.
Yeah, I tried my best to kind of like get like a bigger like what's the word for it, but try to expand my horizons in terms of like listening to music, because I did just like at the beginning I just like listen to just regular hip-hop that would just kind of play on the radio, and then just so overall I've gotten into a lot of rock, alternative, and then a lot of just regular like indie rock and stuff like that. I do listen to a lot of R&B, a lot of hip-hop, a lot of pop. Like I'm extremely excited for like the new Calvin Harris like Funk Wave Bounces Volume 2, because I love the first album. I was like, yo, I love like funky music like that is my stuff, dude. That and like very calming music.
Yeah, funk is dude, the hits. Like, if did you get into like Silk Sonic and Bruno Mars's release this year?
Yeah,
that was a solid banger. Very funky fresh,
dude. It's just Anderson has such good music, dude. The song that he has with Corday, I forget, RNF or dude. Oh, that is such a banger, dude.
Anderson .Paak is one of my favorite like R&B hip hop artists. I think that he is,
dude.
And also like his smile, like you see his smile in a dark room and like I feel safe. Iconic. It's so iconic. If it was a silhouette and just his smile, you would say like that is Anderson .Paak, because that smile is iconic.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm just a sucker for like funky music, man. I love it. And like any like 80s kind of like music, I love it, dude.
Okay.
It's so good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love it. If it has like that kind of like aspect. Cause like from The Weeknd's like newest album, I liked Out of Time. Out of Time was my favorite out of the album, 100%. It's just nice, like it's just a nice beat, really good vocals. It was amazing to me. I love when The Weeknd goes like nice 80s and not just kind of like modern, but it's a modern take on an old sound, and I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that album. I enjoy it as a listen from beginning to end. It feels like he's framed it like a radio show, almost like you're listening to a midnight radio station, and I love that. I love when you give me a structure to the whole album. Like you've given me a flow to listen to this by, and in that case I liked it, but it also fit really well with like the cadence of his voice and the vibe that he was just like portraying the whole time. And then there were some bangers on that album as well. Yeah, just like a good The Weeknd album. Bangers.
It's just a great The Weeknd album, because it's very much like a culmination of all the music that he's kind of made. There's a lot of upbeat, there's a lot of calming. There's just a song for anybody on that album, honestly.
Definitely.
And yeah, like it's great. Like another really like awesome album that I really like is Igor by Tyler the Creator. It came out a while ago. It's an album I hear from start to finish every single time.
That's fantastic. I think that from my point of view, we might have covered a good portion of this. Is there anything you think that in bringing up this topic that we haven't gotten the chance to cover?
I believe we about hit like every base. I mean, I talked about how if sometimes we kind of like we're going through a rough time and we have our friends like help us out, but sometimes like the happiness is still not there, and like video games kind of fill that void. Well, not void, it's not a void, but it's just like it cheers you up. It gives you something to look forward to after a rough day.
It really does.
Like whatever you're going through.
And it doesn't put the onus on another consciousness of whatever that is, be it a pet, a family member, or whatever, like to bring that joy into your life. It's just, it is here. I can come into this world for a brief moment, forget about my woes for the briefest of seconds, and play a game and enjoy myself.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I was very pumped when I saw that this was going to be your topic. I like...
Yeah.
I have always had such a connection with video games, even going through like the period of time where video games certainly like were not the cool thing, and I think that they're making a huge comeback. Like everyone plays some kind of video game now, be it a simple mobile game on your phone or something. Like everyone needs that moment to sort of break the monotony of a normal day to day, and games are incredible at doing that.
Yeah, if we like, we're hitting the video game renaissance as well, because like I'm hyped. Everybody's like looking forward to the Game Awards now, dude. Before it wasn't like that. Now the Game Awards is like, dude, I honestly, like, for me, it's just like, yo, that's one of the biggest events of the year for me. I'm just like, we get to see which game got the best, like won the best game. We get new game trailers. It's such a big event. Like it's like two hours long, I believe, 2-3 hours.
It's huge,
long sometimes.
yeah.
Dude, it was great.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, I was so hyped.
I love it when they do new like big conferences, be it like the Nintendo Directs or any of those big releases like that, where they're like, and here's what's coming. We don't have to tell you when, but we're working on X, and that's it. And like, fuck yeah, man, get me excited. I'm all into video games again now. Something new. I'm super into it. Let's go. I want this now. And it keeps me excited for the future, keeps me well grounded in the present, and like gives me like good nostalgia to look back on in the past as well.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love the Game Awards. It's just it's great. It's great. I'm glad that like it's not looked down upon as much as it was before. I feel like.
Yeah.
And it's nice. It's just nice, man. That and like anime, everybody watches anime.
Everyone
now,
watches
so
anime now.
It's nice. So it's just great, because I remember just getting like, dude, why the hell do you have a manga? Why are you bringing that to read during Silent Sustained Readed? Because that's what I would bring to read. I just bring my manga. I'm just like, I'm not trying to read a book. I'm trying to. Well, I'm gonna read, but I'm also gonna see some action, man.
I wore a Naruto headband to middle school, so I feel it. I liked anime.
Oh, yeah,
I liked anime a lot, and I got picked on for wearing a Naruto Sand Village headband. Gara was the homie.
Hey, man. Gara is the boy.
Gara is the
boy.
I think that games give us an outlet to games, and movie and media and music and all of it really just gives us an outlet to kind of step away and process like our own set of emotions and feelings for the moment in maybe a new context, or just like by putting it out for a little bit, you're able to process it a little bit easier when it comes back to it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah, when you brought up this topic, I was over the moon. I thought this was an incredible topic. And I like
it hits home to a lot of people.
I like that it wasn't myself. It wasn't like I play video games. It was like what the power of video games and that it brings to my life is a great take on it.
Yeah,
for sure. This was they
mean a lot.
A fantastic conversation. I think I lost track of time, but I also realized that I have to.
Yeah, I did too. It's 7 for me actually now. It's probably it's 9 o'clock for you now.
Yeah, it's coming up on 9:30, and I got a whole nother 5 a.m. day again ahead of me. So, yeah. I think that this might be where we call it to a close. But I had a lovely conversation with you. This was a fantastic talk. Just
Yeah, it was. Yeah, today was great. Today was great, honestly. It was just an overall just good day. Honestly, this was amazing. I was looking forward to this all day. I was throughout this whole week just jotting my notes down. It's like, oh, I should talk about this, how I feel about this,
fantastic.
how this game makes me feel. Just thinking, I was like, I'm gonna treat it like this is an assignment.
Yeah,
and,
no, I'm
glad it paid off.
I think I want that. Like I've been trying to decide on whether I want to keep asking my guests for their topic, like I asked yours about a week in advance. I think that's where I'm going to stick with for now, because it gets you thinking a week ahead, and it gets me thinking, and it like I'm not going to go out and do my research, because I don't like, in this case it was less to research and more about personal feelings, but like say in Toxic's case with like beer, like I didn't go out and research craft beer. I just took my own experiences and what I had with it and like threw it on the situation. We had a great conversation. So yeah, I mean, we had a fantastic conversation. This is incredible. I'm very excited to go back and re-listen to the whole thing and like edit it. Yeah. Do you would you like to give yourself a little plug? Do you have anything coming up? Are you do you want to talk about your streaming? Do you want to talk about yourself for a second?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I predominantly play a lot of RPG games, action RPGs. I do play a lot of story-driven games as well, like Danganronpa. I'm thinking about playing the Ace Attorney games just due to the fact that I've seen Kryn play them.
I was gonna say Kryn's been whipping them out.
Yeah, and I am finally gonna play like different games. I've just been spamming Kingdom Hearts for like the past 2 weeks because I'm just like, it's helped me so much, like just through the recovery period for like my therapy and stuff like that. So I'm just like, this keeps me extremely happy, and like I'm just gonna continue playing this. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts for the most part is done. I'm gonna do the final bosses on like the secret bosses on my own part, and starting tomorrow I will probably go back to Twilight Princess because I've left that game for about a month.
Oh yeah, you didn't finish that, did you?
Go back to the old game. Yeah, I did not finish Twilight Princess. I need to finish that game. I see. I need to finish that game. Also, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu is also unfinished. So I'll probably go back and forth and probably play like 2 hours of Twilight Princess and then switch it off to probably some Switch Sports. Maybe if there's like another beta for the Mario Strikers Battle League, I might look into playing that on stream if it kind of correlates to the time and if there's an online stuff, because I know there was one today. I don't know if it's going to start soon. I think it might start at 8 o'clock for me, so I'll see if I can play that.
Yeah, that would be pretty neat.
But yeah.
I really appreciate this conversation. It was a great talk. Just good to talk outside of, I think, our normal sphere.
Yeah. Yeah, today was amazing, man. Today was amazing.
Yeah, it was fantastic. All right, well, I am going to close up this call and then sort of close out here. But it was really good talking with you.
Yeah. Alrighty, man. I will catch you soon.
Yeah, I'll send you the edit when I have it all done.
Sounds awesome. Hell yeah.
Cool. I'll see you soon.
Alrighty, peace out. Alright, peace out.
And as for you folks, really appreciate you folks for being here and just sharing in our love of video games, right? Like, I think that anyone here can have that connection, whether you're a gamer or not. You've had a piece of media in your life that affects you, right? Be it a movie, be it a TV show, or a specific song or an artist, like something in media affects you. And I was very excited to talk about this because I think this is something that everyone can relate to. It's just the way that media in general impacts us and helps us through the tougher, more difficult times. So we'll be back with the PureJoy podcast in 2 more weeks. That will be Sunday, the 19th of June. Our current guest will be the Rake Song 42, or Gabe Stringer. We'll just be talking. I don't even have his topic yet because, like I said, I grab him like a week out currently. I think that is a safe time zone. It gives us time to think about it, process what we're going to talk about, and then just chat. There's no set length. We're just going to be here hanging out and talking and getting to know each other and getting to know new people. You know, some of my early guests here are friends and people that we know in the community, but overall, my goal is to invite anyone, you know, strangers, people I don't know, people from not Twitch. Like, I want to hear what brings everyone joy, whether I know them or not. And I want to help spread that joy with all of you folks. I thank you folks again so much for joining in on the PureJoy podcast, and we will see you again next time.